what y'all go through.
You try to play through injuries. Like, that's the goal. If you can play through it, you're going to play through it. If you can't, there's a reason why. Like nobody wants to sit out for no reason. Like, you can't play through that shit because you won't be yourself. Like, and what's the point of going out there and be like giving? I heard Stephen A. talk about he could have, like, Kawhi could have gave you 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Bro, it's not about that. Like, if I got to go on the floor and I can't be myself, then, like, what the fuck am I on the floor for? I'm liable to get even more hurt because I'm not myself, so I'm overcompensating, trying to do shit that I know I can't do. Like, it was a dumb take.
Have Stephen A. Smith played any professional sports?
Hell no.
Exactly. So he shouldn't even be speaking on what y'all got to go through every day to put y'all jersey on y'all back. Y'all jump up and down, run up and back and forth. Like, you don't think somebody eventually gonna get hurt and their body not gonna break down?
Right.
Yeah, we give all the ones credit who fight through them and everything, but you can't fight through every injury.
You can't fight through everything.
No, I wasn't upset that you didn't. I was upset that you didn't play in this series, but I was more happy that you was taking care of your fucking knee than getting in this fucking series just to win a game. If y'all would have made the next round, I would have been all like, "Come on, P, get in the game." You know what I'm saying? You ready? But Stephen A. Smith, you got to stop with that with these players. I know you was mad at Kawhi, but Kawhi is injured. He played the first game, he got injured. Second game, he gave you 30 or 40-some points. Third game, he couldn't do it. It's just part of it. His body wore out.
He out. I wish you would have just called me on your podcast. I'd have came. Paul. You know that. For you, with any time, I would have came. Here's the reason why. Because on First Take, I looked in the camera and I said, Kawhi Leonard is a superstar. He's a two-time NBA champion. He's a two-time NBA Finals MVP. But he is the worst superstar our game has ever seen. And I talked about how he might as well just retire. Now, was I speaking to some degree with a touch of emotion? Yes, I was. Because once again, he was supposed to be available for the playoffs, and he's going at Kevin Durant, and he's going at these brothers, and he's dropping 38, 39 points. And then the next game, we find out on game day, he can't go. We like, damn, I ain't see you get injured. I ain't see you walk off the court. I ain't see you get carried off the court like Paul George, whether it be an Olympic competition or on the court for the Clippers. I didn't see anything like that. You walked to the bench, you sat down, you drank some Gatorade or water or Powerade, whatever the hell you were drinking. You looked fresh. You showed up to shoot around one morning. Ty Lue is planning to use you. And let's make this noise against Phoenix. They got Kevin Durant now, along with that brother Devin Booker. We got a problem. But we can resolve this with Kawhi Leonard, and all of a sudden he can't go. I'm like, damn. There's always something. Why don't you just retire? Hey, Paul George, all the money you've made, as smart as you are, as accomplished as you are, as business savvy as you work to be every single day with contemporaries like KD and Steph, and of course LeBron, Russell Westbrook, your brother. I didn't say the man was faking any injuries. I didn't say the man doesn't care. I didn't say he doesn't work hard. What I said was, damn, you can't give me 5 minutes, you can't give me 2 minutes. I even used the Pat Riley analogy in the book, Blood in the Garden. When he asked Charles Smith, if we needed you desperately for 5 minutes right now, could you give it to us? Charles Smith said, yeah. He said, then what the hell are you doing in street clothes? Now, you ain't alone, because JJ Redick, star of the Old Man and the Three podcast, exceptional job with him too, who contributes on First Take, jumped all in me when I said what I said about Kawhi Leonard on First Take. But make no mistake about it, I didn't back up. I came right back at him. Look at this exchange.
I mean this in the nicest way possible to both of you, but listening to each of you right now, it's very obvious that you've played zero high-level basketball, and you do not understand the requirements of doing that. Understand the frustration with the load management issue. What we're talking about here and questioning his injury, and you say, I'm not questioning his injury. You just said we saw Paul George get hurt. We didn't see Kawhi get hurt. Let's give the guy some credit.
AJ Redick, first things first. You talked about it's very obvious that we didn't play high-level basketball. Newsflash, in this case especially, I don't have to. I've been covering the NBA since you were 8 years old. You think we make this up? You think we don't speak to owners, coaches, teammates, contemporaries, people who are in the league who do know what you know? Tony Parker is a champion. When he was in San Antonio, he questioned Kawhi Leonard. That is a fact. Look it up. It's in the archives, okay? You have several people who have looked at Kawhi. We know nobody's questioned his work ethic. Nobody has questioned how much he cares. Nobody has questioned what a dog he is when it comes to playing big-time basketball in big-time moments. But he is clearly unreliable because of his health. But he's never unreliable when it comes to getting to the negotiating table and getting every penny that he deserves.
So, yeah, man, I think a lot of it is players are very frustrated by the media and the narrative that's been painted for so many years. And now they have their platforms. They're able to respond in real time. And I think one of the things that ticked Stephen A. Smith off was the fact that Paul George responded 2 months later after the initial statement was made. JJ responded right then, partly because he was sitting across from Stephen A. just about every day back then. And also Paul George, his team was in battle right then. So obviously things were said behind the scenes, but he didn't feel the need to address it right then. And he also, Stephen A., I didn't play the whole thing. Go check out his page, his YouTube page. He called Jackie Long a B-list actor and, went in on him too. And rightfully so. If you hear somebody cheerleading in the background coming at you, you can have your take. As far as Kawhi Leonard, I can kind of feel what Stephen A. Smith is saying, and I feel what Paul George is saying to a degree. What Stephen A. is saying is, he's able to, command maximum dollars and everything. And what I will say to that is they saw how injured he was. After they lost to Denver in the bubble, the team was heading down. It wasn't no more upside to the team, I didn't feel like. Because the players weren't going to get younger or healthier at that point. And they kind of showed you who they were. And then they came back. They were injured the next year. And they didn't get far that next year. And then you had this year. So I say all that to say Kawhi's just showing them who he was. They chose to pay him. I think the Clippers organization need a little bit more responsibility than Stephen A. is giving them, because it's the same thing with Zion on a smaller degree, because Kawhi, you can at least say when he's healthy, you got a chance to win a championship. But I say the same thing for the Pelicans as far as the contracts is concerned. He showed you he was going to be injured year in and year out. So whoever pays these players, they're getting exactly what they deserve. There's no need to put it on the player, because you will accept the money they will give you, period. And Paul George, him and Kawhi, they like brothers, man. Kawhi did so much, and that was a big part of him going to the Clippers. If they couldn't get him, then he probably would have been in L.A. with LeBron on the Lakers team. So you got that dynamic there where he advocated for him in that way. And, Russ was able to come in and play really well for them this year. And but Stephen A. is thinking like a lot of us that enjoyed Kawhi's Toronto run. We enjoyed the player he had become in San Antonio, and just it being gone so fast, it tells you, one, he had a real injury in San Antonio, but two, right, will he ever truly be himself again? Will he be 100% himself again? It don't matter how much you rest, it's not going to rewind the clock. So the moment you start playing back-to-back games, if it's that bad, you probably should consider retiring. And I ain't even talking about just the contracts. I'm talking about his health going forward. But Stephen A. is talking about the game being cheated. And you remember, if you old enough, you come from an era where guys, you saw how Zeke played against the Lakers limping on that foot. we come from that era watching that basketball. So this new thing, when you see somebody go out and perform, and you could tell they're a little off, but they ain't hurt too terribly bad, it's just hard for us to stomach. And you know, that's what Stephen A is speaking to. But I definitely see why Paul George came out and said what he said. I want to know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time. Peace.